Last November, I was struggling to decide which next-gen console I was going to pick up. At the time, I was leaning heavily toward the PlayStation 4 until I saw the gameplay trailer for Titanfall. All I could think was giant robots, Xbox One, boom. I knew the minute the trailer ended which system I would be buying in November. Titanfall looked that good. It's now 4 months later. I have my Xbox One, I have my copy of Titanfall. Do I have any buyer's remorse? Let's find out, shall we? Let's get some housekeeping out of the way right now. Titanfall plays similar to any number of Battlefields, Call of Duties, or Halos. Titanfall plays like virtually all first-person shooters, but it's not the same. Not even close. Titanfall incorporates most of the features you have come to expect from a first-person shooter. More weapons than Halo, but not as many as Battlefield 3, multiple loadout configurations for each of the 17 weapons in the game, XP-based leveling, multiple game modes, and more challenges than you can imagine. Standard fare, and where the similarities end. Think vertically. This is the biggest piece of advice I would give to anyone interested in playing Titanfall. Think vertically. The first departure from the well-worn path comes in the ability to move through the game environment using jet-assisted leaps and wall runs that are reminiscent of parkour. If you aren't comfortable with the new mechanics, flat out hauling ass across the battlefield works too, but it's nowhere near as fun. You choose how you want to move through the 15 maps that are included in the game and how much flair you choose to do it with. The biggest difference in Titanfall is right in the name. Titans are a game changer and where this game shines. Titans are fast, responsive, and function as an extension to your pilot's abilities, the way piloting a robot should be. Each chassis represents a different tactical philosophy. The Atlas is a solid all-around unit, a good balance of speed and armor. The Strider relies on speed and light armor to get you across the battlefield in a hurry. The Ogre is the heavy assault unit that trades speed for more armor. Regardless of which Titan you choose, they are fun to maneuver around the map. Customization has become something of a mainstay in shooters, and Titanfall provides quite a bit of latitude when it comes to this feature. When creating your pilot, you select a primary weapon, an anti-Titan weapon, a sidearm, a tactical ability, grenades or other explosives, 2 tiers of combat kits, and your gender. Initially, you are permitted 3 customizable pilots with 2 more slots unlocked as you progress through the game's challenges. This allows you to design different pilot configurations, allowing you to switch loadouts for any given match or round. As your pilot levels up, you will unlock additional weapons, tactical items, and ordnance. Similar to the pilot, you are able to save multiple configurations of Titan. Although each Titan is different, they all consist of the same core features: a primary weapon, a tactical ability, a secondary ordnance, and 2 tiers of tactical items to aid in your conquest of the battlefield. The final gameplay element to talk about are burn cards. Burn cards are buffs for your pilot or Titan you can select to give you an advantage in a given round. 2 significant notes. 1, their effects only last until, or are triggered at, your pilot's or Titan's demise. 2, you can only bring 3 into each round of Titanfall. The effects of each burn card varies and can include items such as amped versions of weapons, sensory buffs like satellite uplink, or Titan buffs like massive payload. Here, as in other aspects of the game, it's up to you what burn cards you bring with you. Ultimately, the way you approach the game is largely up to you. There is no single right way to customize your pilot and Titan. The game is pretty well balanced, and that's a good thing. Figure out the playstyle that suits you and have fun. Titanfall's gameplay is top-notch, snagging a score of 25 out of 25. Titanfall is definitely one of the better looking games available for the Xbox One. Smoke effects and draw distances are amazing, as are lighting effects and color scheme. Being able to attack an opponent's Titan from long range is one of the more satisfying feats in the game. The Titans look battle-worn, the environments look run down, and the character models are grounded in reality. A futuristic reality, but reality nonetheless. The little things, like AI workers continuing to work despite the battle raging around them. The big things, like extreme elevation changes in Boneyard or Derelict. Everything blends together in an excellent balance of artistry, functionality, and practicality. It never gets old watching your Titan drop in from orbit and crash to Earth in an explosion of dust and shielding. Titanfall may be amazing visually, but that's not to say it doesn't have a few rough edges that need to be buffed out. Players still occasionally get hung up on or stuck in terrain, and tearing does occur. Compared to other titles such as Battlefield 3, these issues are hardly deal breakers. I've only been caught on terrain once and have yet to experience any tearing. Titanfall looks great, not much else to say other than that it scores a 24 out of 25. Titanfall is entertaining as hell for a first-person shooter. It has managed to incorporate standard features of shooters and introduce some exciting new game mechanics to create a new experience, and that's hard to do these days. There is something in Titanfall for almost everyone. There are 6 game modes to choose from: Attrition, Last Titan Standing, Hardpoint Domination, Capture the Flag, Pilot Hunter, and Variety Mode. Each mode offers different ways to play and win, and each has their own strengths and weaknesses. The names of each mode are pretty self-explanatory, so I only want to focus on one other element here. Despite all of the good things going on with Titanfall, there is still one big flaw. There is no dedicated single-player campaign. For me, it didn't matter. Give me a strategic game mode like Hardpoint Domination and I'm happy. As long as I feel as though I'm contributing to my team, you'll get no complaints from me. For some of my friends who like first-person shooters, but not the competitiveness of online play, the lack of a single-player campaign is reason enough to pass over this title. The multiplayer campaign you play through is geared heavily towards attrition, a slightly different take of Team Deathmatch, and the overall story lacks cohesion. The NPCs are little more than voices in your ears telling you to get moving, or defend that hardpoint, which is often more of a distraction than anything else. Titanfall would have benefited from a dedicated storyline, but Respawn chose to go in a different direction. Fortunately, Titanfall is still a great way to kill an afternoon or an evening. The score for fun factor suffers a little and lands a 20 out of 25. The sheer number of challenges, the number of game modes, and the variety of maps is sure to keep you playing for quite some time. Respawn is also planning additional downloadable content which will keep the battles fresh. Combine this with how different Titanfall is from other first-person shooters available, and the hours will just slip away. All of the good doesn't take away from the reality that Titanfall isn't for everyone. The score for replayability is 21 out of 25. There is a lot to like in Titanfall if you are a fan of first-person shooters and multiplayer battles, but nothing for someone who wants to enjoy an engrossing story of two sides in an escalating battle for limited resources. As such, those who like the online play of shooters will really enjoy Titanfall. For those who don't, stick to Battlefield Bad Company 2, any of the Halo titles, or Gears of War. You will be much happier. Titanfall is an impressive debut game and could have been great with a little tweaking, but it still gets a 90 out of 100 from me.